All right, we're jumping in past 11 here, so I better just get going. Um, if you've never been to our website, check out GoldenCareAgent.com. It's an awesome website. We have a lot of tools. There's a list of some of our big tools we have right in front of us. The LTC CEO, we have great personal back-end support. Stratecision and CSG for quoting. The Care Options is a great lead and referral tool. And our pivot, instant pivot for short-term care. If you're in short-term care at all, you definitely want to check out the instant pivot. But again, today we're going to go over the Custom Solutions long-term care. It's from Mutual of Omaha. It's been the #1 selling product out there for a few years straight in a row now. It's got a lot of great benefits. Of course, everybody knows the Mutual of Omaha name. They are an A+ rating by AM Best, and they're a mutual company, so they don't have to show those huge profits. Is the reason a lot of people bailed on the long-term care. Right now they're paid, well, back in 2020, they paid over $11 million a month in benefits just on their long-term care. Some facts that people probably have heard a lot since COVID, but 61% of people said they'd rather die than go to a nursing home. 90% of married couples are going to require some type of care. And guess what? 90% of the adults have never even had the conversation. Consumers are worried they're going to end up in the nursing home. And you know who can keep them out of there? Us as the agents. We can inform them, educate them, get them a plan in place, whether it's long-term care, short-term care, home health care. We have a lot of options to help keep them out of the facilities. So I'm going to turn it over to Lynn. Mutual Omaha has their WinFlex Web, which is their quoting tool that they use right now. So Lynn, with that, thank you for joining me today, and I'm going to pass it off to you.
Sure thing. All right. So this is Lynn Voss with GoldenCare, and because we've done such extensive training on the Mutual Care Solutions software, I just wanted to, before I switch the screen over to my own, I just wanted to be able to show the WinFlex Web. So I'm just gonna bring that up right now. Okay, so the easiest way to access WinFlex Web is actually through Sales Professional Access itself. So once you log into the site, you'll actually arrive at the home page. The easiest place to find it is simply to scroll down. There's literally a WinFlex link directly on the home page that will take you to the page that would allow you to launch the WinFlex Web software. If in case you need to find it, it is under Sales and Marketing, under Illustrations and Quoting. But again, that quick link right off the homepage is what you'll need. So you can click either of these buttons to access WinFlex Web, and that's what I'm going to do today. It does require a separate login, so just be aware of that. If you have not created a login for the WinFlex Web, we do have a sheet that would give you some basic instructions that we'll share after the webinar today. Mine, of course, may look a little bit different than yours. I do have various carriers on mine, but what you'll be looking for is the illustrations button here. It's right on that dashboard page. Once you hit illustrations, then you'll be given a couple different options. Of course, if you have saved cases, you can certainly load them up here. You can start a new case, and anytime you save your cases, they do line up, just for quick reference, right along this column on the left. But I will go ahead and run a new quote. So of course I have more carriers on here. Various carriers do use the WinFlex Web, but I'm going to go ahead and select the Mutual Care Solutions-LTC under the Mutual of Omaha Health, and create client. Now, I will go through this a little quickly, but we are recording the presentation today. So this is where you're able to see what falls under the health category. And let's see here. The plan information is actually under the plan info column. So the very first thing you'll see, you'll be entering the client information. Just for simplicity's sake, I might just do one. Okay, so the same types of things, you'll just be selecting, you know, the gender, the health classification, the state, and once you move over using the tabs along the top, you'll be able to choose the benefit information. One key thing I will mention is using WinFlex. It defaults to the secure solution plan, whereas if you're familiar with the Mutual Care Solutions plan or the Mutual Care Solutions software, you'll know that that opens on that tan screen, which means it defaults opening on the custom solution plan. So just be aware of that. I will show the custom solution because there's a little bit more involved in selecting your benefits. So as a high level, they would like you to select whether you're looking at the lower range policy limit or the higher range. So you'll see that here. I'm just going to do a very basic, let's do 150,000 and 6,000 for a 2-year. Of course, you see all of the other options, the selections for lowering the assisted living or home health care, all of the inflation options, lifetime or the inflation term options rather. If you select the lifetime here, and it will open up to all of those percentages between 1% and 5% in quarter percentage increments. So the next options are the optional riders that can be added. You don't have to select any of those, and I believe it does break it out on the illustration. So further down, you'll get to the billing mode and the premium option. If you do run a quote for a spouse, you can simply hit this button. Okay, if you hit that button, it will slowly process, which you're seeing here, the screen, but it will duplicate all of the benefits you had elected under the one spouse and transfer it over to the second spouse. But because I'm just quoting the one today, you won't see that populate live. Now, what I recommend doing is first hitting compute, because this is where it will actually give you the premium. You'll get a glance at the premium before you're deciding whether or not to move forward with the full illustration. It will give you a status with a successful run, and you can see based on what you'd chosen for your mode, it will give you some premiums here. Now, just like the Mutual Care Solutions software, there is an option to include extra pages. You know, things like a break-even analysis or some different inflation option pages. The agent information only has 3 selections here. If you enter your information and save it, it should pre-populate for future quotes. Concept isn't super applicable for the long-term care. This concept tab is more or less for life insurance illustrations. So once I get to the agent information, I'm generally feeling good about my quote. How to calculate now? There are 3 orange buttons along the top. To actually generate the illustration, you will hit that calculate button. And again, it does take just a little bit of time, but you will see it process. It says calculating here, and visually you'll see it change once the PDF has been generated. there's a little extra delay here just with the webinar, but if you click that PDF icon, it will open in a new tab, and this is the Mutual of Omaha illustration now that WinFlex generates. Again, I did select to include a couple of the extra pages, but it does have a really nice outline. Mutual of Omaha did make some changes to this illustration so that way it was a little easier to read. Now, back in the other tab, it will remain open. If you need to go back and make additional changes, put a client name in there perhaps, or see what some slightly different benefits will be, you can certainly click the client option and revisit, make any changes you need. And then of course it's the same. Let's see if I make a change, then this button again will say calculate. Again, I always recommend computing first. It doesn't take too long. It'll give you that new premium, and then you can decide whether you're ready to move forward with the illustration. I think it's running. Oh, there we go. It's usually not so long, but again, I think it's running the webinar simultaneously. And then of course the calculate button will allow you again to populate that PDF. Now you can print, you can download, you have your illustration there. Before leaving WinFlex, I do recommend saving your quote. So everything that you had put into this client case, there are some options here, and I recommend saving. And you can certainly save as and name it something specific too. Just something quick that that you can reference, and generally these are sorted by the client name. So this will easily allow me to come back, relog into WinFlex and find that case I'd been working on. So that is the WinFlex demonstration in a nutshell. And I'm not sure if we wanted to, but I can certainly bring up the Mutual Care Solutions software as well. And again, this is something that is available to GoldenCare appointed agents or agents in our hierarchy. Like I mentioned, this one does default to custom solution. This is still an amazing tool for generating those premium illustrations for clients. This is not meant to be consumer facing, the actual print offs that are generated now. So just keep that in mind. You can still certainly send the print offs along with your applications if doing paper applications, but otherwise Mutual of Omaha has transferred everything over to their WinFlex system now. So if that's, did you have anything to add there, John? Or even in my quick demonstration, did you find you had questions?
Nope, I think that looked good, Lynn, and I'm glad it's recorded so people can go back if they need to use the WinFlex tool.
All right.
All right, thank you, Lynn. Very nice demonstration. Let's keep going here today. Now I'm going to go over the the benefits of the policy. It is very flexible. You're going to see it's basically second to none out there. If you can get this thing wound down right to what your customer is really looking for. We go from ages 30 to 79. It is partnership qualified in most states. We go policy limit is 500,000. Monthly, you can get up to 10,000 a month. We have all the usual suspects in the elimination period. The cash benefit's very nice. It's 25% of your benefit, and the maximum it can start at is $2,000 a month. So even if you picked $10,000 a month, the most you can start is $2,000, but that will inflate with inflation on a yearly basis. And at the beginning of claim time, when the family gathers around, a lot of times they don't want strangers in the house. They're going to use that cash benefit, you know, just to make whoever is needing the care to feel more at home. So don't forget the cash benefit's very beneficial. It does have bed reservation up to 30 days a year. And if you saw when she did her demonstration there, we have a ton of inflation options. And a lot of the states have moved their partnership limitation down to 1%. So that's good to know. We are in all 50 states. Again, we're not partnership qualified in all 50, but the plan is available in all 50 states. When you do take the cash benefit, there's no elimination. Again, monthly benefit amount, so you can stretch your home health care dollars out. It'll pay a bigger amount on days that you need it, and then the days you're not using it, just allow more benefits and more flexibility for the days you do. Calendar day elimination's really nice. You saw when she did her little demonstration, she did a 90-day elimination with the 0-day home care. That's because if you can keep somebody home for that 90 days of care, you got rid of your elimination period for your facility. So that's a very strong thing to have as calendar day elimination. Of course, we protect you at home. This plan is meant to keep you at home as long as we can. A lot of inflation options. We already went by that. We didn't talk about the partnership or partner-friendly benefits, but we do on the custom care. You do have a lot of nice little options. Joint waiver of premium, the security benefit for when you have an uninsured spouse. A lot of nice partnership plan or partnership qualified policies. So built-in benefits, again, the cash pay is 25%. Home health care, it's 100% of your monthly benefit. And it does take care of the homemaker, personal, grocery shopping, meal preps, professional services in the house. Facility, again, pays for 100% of the policy at either assisted living or in the nursing home facility or a memory unit. And adult daycare is covered under the home health care benefits. Care coordination was used right away to make sure you're going to get the proper care you need in the proper place. So they actually supply a person to come out and help with you. They're a licensed professional, and they help you develop your individualized plan of care. Respite care, it will pay for a person to get basically a break from being the primary caregiver. Even though they're using the home health care benefits and people are coming in, you still have that person that has to be at home, almost all the time watching over the patient or, usually family member. So they do have a respite care. This policy will pay for hospice care in any of the settings that you're in. The international benefit is really nice. It says if you're in any country that isn't basically a war zone, we will give you a 1-year plan indemnity so you get your full monthly benefit regardless of how much care you need. And it'll cover you for up to 1 year to get you back to the United States. Now, remember, this plan is covered in the United States, Canada, or England, or United Kingdom. But if you're in any place else, like Germany or Italy or Spain or wherever you might be, this plan will cover you for a full year. Waiver of premium, when you're receiving your care, it has built-in waiver of premium, meaning you don't have to pay your premiums as long as you're receiving care. And alternate care is because we don't know what might come up in the future. But if there's a new type of care that came out and it fits for your client, Mutual Omaha will pay for that care. And these are additional benefits that do have an additional cost. Of course, we covered inflation a few times. The inflation buy-up is unique to Mutual of Omaha. It just says when you buy on the custom plan, let's say you bought a 1% inflation because you had two kids in college and were still paying your mortgage. But a few years later, you're doing better off. You don't have those extra bills anymore. You can increase your percentage of inflation every year on the policy anniversary until you get all the way up to 5%. So it's a very nice way to do it, to make sure people get in their policy when they're young, but then you can increase it later to make sure you're keeping up with the inflation. Joint waiver of premium, this just says if one of you goes on claim, both of you would not have to pay your premium. And again, there is additional cost for that, but that one is very cheap. So if you're selling married couples, make sure you click on it just to see what it adds to the policy. A lot of times they're going to think that's a good deal. Non-forfeiture basically is an absolute nobody sells it anymore. What it says is if you add this to your policy, you can drop your policy whenever you want for whatever reason you want, and you can get what you paid in benefits or in premium back to you in benefits. We tell everybody don't do it. There's no reason to buy a policy if you don't think you can keep it. And right now, most states, if they have rate increases, they're making them offer that non-forfeiture as one of the ways to get out of their policy if it gets too expensive for them. Remember earlier I told you this is a policy that really wants to keep you at home. Adding the professional home health care is a very inexpensive way to do that. Basically, it says every time you have a home health care professional, an RN, an LPN, a chemotherapist, physical therapist, anything like that come into your house, you would get double the benefits for that day. So in an example of maybe you had a $6,000 a month policy, if you had a professional come in every day, you'd actually have $12,000 that your policy would pay out. But it's a very nice way, again, to keep you at home, and for sure for that 90 days to get rid of the elimination period. Some more additional benefits, the return of premium. This first one is kind of nice. It's 3 times your initial benefit. So if you had a $6,000 benefit and you died after it's been in force for 10 years, you would get basically an $18,000 check. It's kind of almost like having a final expense built right in, minus any claims paid, of course. But it's not very expensive, and it's a nice little add-on and a nice way to look at it that it keeps your premium down a little bit if you never use your policy. Return of premium at death minus claims paid. That just says that when you pass away before the age of 65, any benefits you paid in, they'll give back to you minus any claims paid. So it's really inexpensive to put on. And if you're selling to those younger clients, sometimes that's a pretty good little thing to take a look at. And then return of premium at death minus claim pays. This will pay whenever you pass away. Any of the benefits you paid in minus claims paid. Remember I was talking earlier about the security benefit? Security benefit is something you can put on. Say you're talking to mom and dad's in a wheelchair and he has Alzheimer's. You can add this security benefit to mom's policy. And let's just say she had a $6,000 a month policy. And when she starts collecting on it, they'll send her an extra check for 60% of hers, so it'd be $3,600. And they can use that any way they want, but more than likely they're going to use it for his care, whether they're at home, in assisted living, or in a nursing home. So it's a way to get the uninsured spouse. You notice I'm not saying uninsurable. Most of the time it's because they are uninsurable, but if you've been in a long-term care field for a long time, you know, a lot of times you make that pitch, mom's shaking her head yes, and dad's looking at you going, nope, I'm never going to need it. So it might just be somebody that doesn't believe he's ever going to need it, but they can still put that benefit on there. But it is triggered by the policyholder, and it does count as partnership benefits. So it would cover more dollars or dollar for dollar asset protection. Shared care just says if you both buy a policy and one of you passes away, the other one inherits your full policy. So if you both had 3-year policies now, whoever was still alive would have a 6-year policy. Or the other way it could be used, if you go through your whole 3 years, you can start borrowing from your spouse's policy. You just have to leave at least 1 year in for the original policyholder. So shared care is a nice benefit. Again, it makes dad happy knowing that he knows he's never going to need it, so she's going to get those extra years of coverage, so it's going to give him some more peace of mind. Survivorship just says if one of you passes away, the other partner has doesn't have to pay premiums anymore for the rest of their life. So again, it's a really nice thing to have in case somebody passes away. That takes away that added expense of paying that premium, but you still get all the benefits of the policy. We went over the waiver of home health care. So that just says if one of you goes unclaimed, both of you don't have to pay your premiums at the same time. You do get a partner discount of 15%, so if mom and dad both apply, they both get a 15% discount. If only one of them applies, but they do have a partner, they still get a 5% discount. And on top of those, you could also get the preferred discount of 15% if you're in good health. And in the agent guide, there is a preferred health page that says as long as you follow all of these, you can answer all these, you are a preferred client. Underwriting guidelines, I'm going to go through real quick. Here's the activities of daily living. That's how you trigger your policy, but not being able to do 2 out of 6 ADLs, or you have a cognitive impairment. These are all the things that they can help you with. The instrumental activities of daily living, if you're using the home care, of course, in the assisted living and nursing home, they're covered too. Again, issue age is 30 to 79. If you have a birthday, you have up until 30 days after the birthday to sell them the policy, and you get to save the age. So if they were 59 years old, turning 60 on, March 15th, you would have up until April 14th to be able to sell and sign the policy to save that age to keep them age 59. We do have 3 rate classes. We have preferred, standard, or select, class 1, and in extreme cases, there is a class 2 underwriting. If you do class 1 or class 2, they do limit your policy benefits. And again, class 1 and 2, you can't get a lot of the extra riders if you're class 1 and 2, and that's why you see us going to a younger, selling to younger people so they can still get all these extra benefits. Again, preferred, select, class 1, class 2. They have a unisex build chart, and it's very lenient in the long-term care field. So you can make sure you take a look at that, and they're very strict on it. If you're a select maximum, it's 156 at 4'8". If you're 157, it's going to move you up to the class 1 because they have to draw a line. They can't be making exceptions, or everybody will be asking for them. To complete the application, we do have a guide on how to do the e-app. Main thing to remember is if you're going to fill out an app and you haven't done it for a while, make sure you have your LTC partnership training. You might have the appropriate state license. Nice thing about Mutual of Omaha, if you live in Ohio and somebody travels to Ohio, no matter what state they're from, you can write them on that state's paperwork, say it's Texas, without being licensed in Texas, but you have to sign it in Ohio. And of course, they can't be there just for the purpose of buying long-term care or buying insurance. But they're one of the few companies that allows you to do that, and it makes it really nice. You always have to use the application for state the client resides in. There's two ways to submit an app, again, traditional paper or the e-app. And because of COVID, because of the time we live in, everything like that, over 90% of our apps are e-apps. They get through underwriting quicker. You can't make a mistake on it because it won't allow you to submit it. But both of those can be found on Sales Professional Access, which is mutualomaha.com site. There is some numbers to call for Mutual of Omaha, but I would almost always go through GoldenCare. We can match things up, get it to the right place, save you some time when your basic job is to be out there selling. So let us help you with the underwriting. Let us help you with everything. But they do have some numbers here in case you want to use them. Lynn went through the WinFlex web illustration, and this is our own tool. Again, not to be client-facing anymore. Here's our whole team, and I'm just going to pass it back to Lynn real quick so she can give some closing thoughts on this.
Sure. So we are absolutely here to help with quoting. Any of your back office needs, the entire team that you see on your screen now, we're here to help answer questions. Like John said, come through our office. We've been working with Mutual of Omaha for years and years. We are familiar with their processes, with their typical responses, with licensing quotes, their e-app, you name it. We have untold amounts of experience. So we are likely able to answer your question without having to wait in those call queues by calling Mutual of Omaha directly. So any of the team members there you see on the screen, we have experience with quoting, developing different plan designs. Often we can actually suggest some different ways to help reduce premium or come up with a stronger plan design that would give your client more benefit and often for a little bit less cost. So definitely reach out to us. I know the learning curve with WinFlex is great. And don't forget that Mutual Care Solutions tool is still at your disposal. If you just need a quick premium number and then just need some help matching that with the WinFlex software, give our team a call and we can certainly assist. Now, this full presentation is recorded, so we'll be sending a follow-up email today. Be on the lookout. It will include a link to that recording, a link to that PDF or that one-pager that I referenced about help setting up new accounts on WinFlex, and then all of our contact information in case you have any other questions. But you see our website up there, like John mentioned. If you haven't been there before, GoldenCareAgent.com. It is a wealth of information, a whole library of training and fast facts and sales strategies, a whole lot of product information, forms, materials. Everything you need you can access through that website. And of course, give our office a call. You can reach us at 1-800-842-7799.
I want to thank everybody for taking time out of their day today. If you do have any questions, like Lynn said, give us a call. There's our toll-free number up there. And eventually sometime today or tomorrow, you will get a copy of this presentation. And everybody have a great day. Enjoy the rest of the week and have a wonderful weekend. Thank you much.
Thanks, everyone.
GoldenCare is always here to serve you with new tools, new products, new ideas, and new innovations, and always the best support in the business to help you succeed. So give us a call at 800-842-7799 and check out our website at www.goldencareagent.com.